Isolation kills. I've been through this too. You can't connect from your couch. Is it okay to talk about not being okay? Find your people. You're full of it. Follow through. Presence matters. That's a powerful metaphor. Fight isolation. Welcome to Isolation Kills. My name is David Stone, and I'm on a mission against isolation because when your employees become a team, everything changes. I've got Authority Coach Todd Wall with me today, and we're going to talk about a problem that I see all of the time in our teams, and that is a culture of disengagement. So welcome, Todd.
How you doing, Dave? Good to be here.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have you seen this where we have teams and groups of people where they're just kind of walking around and with their heads in a fog, just kind of disengaged with what is going on? One guy used to say, what's written on the wall? Is it happening down the hall? And yeah, there's stuff written on the walls about safety and about we care as a team
hmm
and all that kind of stuff, but it really doesn't happen. And really, it's just disengagement. So,
It
have
is
you experienced that?
absolutely, and in today's virtual world, this is a bigger
Mm,
problem than it's ever been. There's a couple
right.
cultural factors at play right now. One is, after COVID, some companies are hybrid, some haven't even gone back to an office, and so there's this new reality that we have to lead with not everybody's just in the opposite room where you can engage with them and talk about sports. You only
Right.
get those few limited moments with them, and so those moments become precious. That's an element. But then also culturally, there's I think there's the millennials that had disengagement, the quiet quitting they called it,
Yeah.
where they're clocking in and
Right.
clocking out, and they're there, but are they really there? And
Right.
that's a virus that's actually really contagious. So it's
Hmm.
much more than just millennials during that time period where that phrase became popular. And so this disengagement is something that we have to lead through, and it's very significant.
Okay. So, how is it that you would lead? So let's say you have a CEO that's come in and they've asked you to help with this disengagement. They've got some employees that are disengaged, and honestly, it's maybe not even a generational thing. It's across the board thing. What are some steps that you would take to remedy that, to help them with that disengagement, that isolation?
Well, as you begin with, as a leader, as a business owner, that how you're impacting your customer is extremely important, and you feel it. It's important to you. You know the impact of it. You've thought about every little way that it's gone, that it impacts both your family and the customer's family. That's the
Mm,
critical element right there. It's how it
mm,
affects your family and your customer's family. Those
mm,
are the two critical elements that, if you want them to engage, you have to begin with how does this affect them?
mm,
And then who's the real person on the other side of the phone who has
mm.
who has problems and stress and feelings, and the real human on the other side that you can help them engage with a human to human element. So those are the first two key elements: is how does this affect the employee, and then getting that employee to go one step further and actually feel something for the customer.
Okay. So, do you see that this happens? So let's just put a scenario in there. Um, so, like we're in the hall and we're at a manufacturing situation, and again, you've got separate groups, right? The engineers are a certain group, and then the actual fabricators is a different group, and then we have the C-suite, right? And so
Hmm.
sometimes they don't all talk alike, right? Or they all whatever. So give me some tips on where you see sometimes the disengagement, you know, crop up in between those three different areas in a company.
The fact that you just laid it out as three different areas lays out the paradigm in understanding that we're all unique. And if I can embrace that my team member is unique, and I hired them, in fact, because they're unique, not because they're just going to be a generic oatmeal version of everybody else, but they are unique. The engineer is unique. The top leader is unique. Their wiring itself is completely unique. So once I embrace the fact that they are unique, and that's an okay thing, that's valuable, now I begin to ask, well, what's important to that person? What
Mm,
is important to that individual? Is it is this a person who wants to go up the ladder?
mm,
Some are like that. Not everybody is though. Some
mm.
people, their comfort zone, what gives them peace is just not clocking in and clocking out, but it's just the busyness of I create this widget and this widget goes out with quality. Some people just they love what they do with their hands. As long as their hands are busy, then they're happy. And
Yeah,
so it's when the boredom that they get disengaged. And
yeah.
so that's the first element of this is how can I engage with individual humans that
Mm,
are unique and have something they care about? So what is it they care about?
mm. That's really interesting. I talked to some guys that are fabricators, like welders, and they look at machines that sometimes a machine will come back 25, 30 years later, and they will say, "Well, yeah, Johnny worked on that," and I'm like, "How in the world do you know that?" And he goes, "Well, our welding is like our signature. Every person welds differently, almost like we have a fingerprint, right?"
Yeah.
And so that's a powerful metaphor. So if we ought to think like that way, so so everybody's an individual. That's really really cool. So how do you how do you get to that step deeper with them, and how do you get that to resonate with them that they're an individual and that that's a powerful thing, to learn other people's
Yeah.
individuality so
So
that they can
that's
recognize somebody else's fingerprint, somebody else's signature.
absolutely because as you recognize that that is a signature for that group of people, that they're looking for legacy. They value that
Ah,
signature, the artistry, that craftsmanship going forward. Then once you recognize that and you acknowledge it publicly,
mhm.
that becomes viral. Caring
Yeah.
becomes viral. And so
Okay.
when you acknowledge, hey, even if it's, let's say it's a silly HR safety thing.
Right.
Hey, Steve, this is why this safety thing is important because if you lose the tip of your finger, you lose your signature.
That's
And
right.
so you bringing into their cause that they fight for is that legacy signature, that artistry. So if you know that they're fighting for that, then this HR rule, if you just hand it to them, they're like, we're going to put that sign over off to the side, or it's this enables you to get to your signature. So
Yeah.
how does it achieve their personal cause?
Yeah. That's really cool. So, what about for the what about for the CEO or the manager, the leader? How do they combat this, and how do they present? How do they, for lack of a better term, how do they show care that
Mm-hmm.
they care about these that are maybe in a lesser role, that
Yeah.
then honestly sometimes that creates the disengagement, doesn't it? I mean, of like, well, why am I even doing this? How are leaders able to encourage those around them and
Mm-hmm.
build those high capacity teams?
I think we draw from the philosophical understanding of the movie Minions. Traditionally, the word minions was just this blank oatmeal, just generic version. It's like a factory version. Everything was the same. But what we learned from the movie Minions is Kevin wants to play, and Kevin is a moron. But Kevin likes to play things. He likes to have jokes. He likes a good fart noise. Kevin, so as the leader, if I'm a leader who just views my team as this generic, they're just getting from point A to point B, and I address them that way, that communicates I don't care about them. But if I recognize Kevin for being Kevin, that he's going to make a joke, I'm going to laugh at it.
Right.
I may
whether
make
it's
a joke.
funny or not.
That's right, because Kevin loves to laugh.
That's right.
But then there's other minions that love to solve a puzzle. Talk to them about the puzzle. Yeah, you solved anything good lately? What have you uncovered, and what did you create for? So as the leader sees individual humans with uniqueness, and they acknowledge that, now that minion, that team member, says, this is a person who cares about me, who sees me for who I am. I trust that person, because I trust people who care about me. I trust people who look at me and go, I'm valuable, that aren't, that I'm safe with that person. So trust creates action. Authority is trust in motion, and trust creates action. So if, as a leader, if I can engage with a person and show that I care, I just created trust, and therefore created that authority that I'm actually craving for. I don't have to execute my role because of the name badge. Now I just earned it. I earned my authority.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm fascinated about this, and we're going to take a break here, and we'll come back, and I want to dive in a little deeper on how we can help each one of those groups of people to be able to coexist, not only coexist, but thrive between those three groups in all kinds of teams. We'll see you in a bit. Isolation kills. I've been through this too. You can't connect from your couch. Is it okay to talk about not being okay? Find your people. You're full of it. Follow through. Presence matters. That's a powerful metaphor. Fight isolation.